When you have a dream, the one thing you have to watch out for are those out there that will try to crush your dream. And you cannot allow that to happen. That is your biggest challenge. So I challenge you to have your dream, go after it with all you have, and be legendary in your own right. The thing we covered the most, for a diamond to be produced, it must first go through extreme heat. Extreme heat. Extreme pressure. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? For a diamond to be produced, it has to go through extreme pressure, extreme heat.
And what I love about that is that you get to choose as much as you want. You get to design it any way you choose. You're not sentenced to your future. You have an opportunity to your future. What do you want and how do you want it? And if it doesn't make you a little afraid, then you ain't playing big enough.
And if that wasn't enough, what makes a diamond is the cut. So you are put through, if you want to be a diamond, you must go through extreme pressure.
I have the ability to see the end before the beginning even begins. And what that means is I know that to get to the very end, I can see it right now.
If you can't take pressure, then you're not a diamond. After you go through all the pressure you thought you could not handle and you think it's over, then they turn on the heat.
I saw myself 6 months, a year later, whatever's gonna take me to do it, I saw myself walking across that stage, getting that certificate of graduation from Buds. And I was able to be there at 300 pounds.
And we mistake the fact that we're supposed to be comfortable 24/7. Well, let me tell you something. Comfortable is equivalent to complacent. I'll choose inconvenience every day, any day, to make a difference on the planet.
And that feeling that I was nowhere near that feeling, I was able to put myself there 1,000,000 times every day. And that feeling of like, my God, that is gonna feel amazing.
I've been defeated so much, I've been disappointed so much in my life that I know what it feels like and I can handle it.
People tell me all the time, it's hard to get wealthy. It's hard to grind. It's hard to be focused. How do you even do these speeches? It's hard to stay motivated. It's hard to stay broke. It's hard to stay depressed. It's hard to stay governed by anxiety. It's hard to be inconsistent. It's hard not to have daily disciplines. It's hard not to believe in yourself. It's hard to be broke. It's hard to be poor. It's hard. It's all hard. So choose your heart. You either gonna work for it, you're gonna sit there and let life knock you down and dare you to get back up.
It didn't happen to me at 19. It didn't happen to me at 20. It didn't happen to me at 30. It happened to me at 40. After I had been through all the pressure I thought I could go through. Life said, you finished with all the pressure? I said, yeah. They said, let's bring on the heat.
That's what made me suffer. That's what allowed the pain to be real and say, this is worth it. I want to feel for this next 18 months. It took me 18 months to finally become a Navy SEAL, to finally, just get through Buds. 18 months, it's 6 months. It took me 18. That's what woke me up every morning was, I'm gonna put myself through this much pain and suffering for a few seconds.
To leave my fingerprint on this planet.
It's hard to practice perseverance. It's hard to be an introvert. It's hard to be an extrovert. Singleness can be difficult. Marriage can be difficult. Raising your children on your own can be difficult. It's hard to wake up early. It's hard to wake up late. But there's a reward on the other side of waking up early. If you wake up late, you've lost too much daylight. What somebody else did before you woke up, now you only have a fraction of the day to get it done.
And then when I went through the pressure and the heat, y'all, I thought it was over. The Creator said, now you ready to get cut?
There's a reward on the other side of one pain, and there is regret on the other side of the other pain.
So I just came to talk to the game changers and to the change agents who are willing to confront any part of you that's not speaking to your madly, wildly amazing future. Confront it. I came to talk to the change agents that are interested.
You said you wanted to be great, son. You said you wanted to travel the world. You said you wanted to help people, inspire people. And you gotta be a diamond.
That's all it is. A few seconds of joy. It's so worth it, man. That's what people don't get. So I'm able to put myself at the finish line, even though I have no finish line, but at the finish line of an event before I even start them, and say, how are you going to feel at the end of this? Visualizing is my biggest tool of life.
Listen to me very closely if you've ever studied the diamond. Once it goes through that type of pressure and it finally becomes a diamond, at that point you can't break it no more.
And if you're going to win the reward, you're going to have to persevere. You're going to need endurance. You're going to need to be consistent. And on the other end of the pendulum, there is the pain of regret, where you did nothing because you were afraid you would make a mistake. The pain of regret will hurt you. So choose your heart. Make a decision.
You're not where you want to be. But I know in my heart, in my soul, you're going to get there. I'm not where I want to be. But I know I'm going to get there. There's nothing stopping you to get to where you want to be. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? Once you get to that point, you cannot be broken anymore. Right here, right now, is your life. If no one else forgives you, learn to forgive yourself. Hold yourself up. When everybody else says no, you say yes.
Stop scoreboard watching and trust in the process, the principles, and the habits that actually put points on that scoreboard.
And the only way they can tell if a diamond is a diamond or if it's fake is by applying pressure, is how they tell.
You got to be consciously conscious today, because your environment can hypnotize, mesmerize, and paralyze you.
The other thing is, take full responsibility for your life.
I recommended the last time I was here, the little book, Richest Man in Babylon, and I said I've lectured now to over 3 million people. Guess how many have actually gone and got this little book? The answer, very few. My best guess is 10%. Such an easy thing to do. This little book, number one, is easy to find. Number two, it's easy to buy. The most you can pay for it, $6, $7, $8. You can borrow that from your kids. But if it's easy to find and easy to buy, and if it's easy to read, why wouldn't everybody go get it? We don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. Here's how profound it is. Some do and some don't. Now here's the numbers. About 10% do.
So I'm being honest with you. I'm not giving you the 7 principles I'm trying to tell you the very first thing I want to tell you before we go through the principles. It's going to be a dog fight.
The sun doesn't shine every day. The storms will come. There are times when the nights will be long and dark and you will be alone. There will be times when the darkness seems to consume everything. But don't let it consume you. Even in the darkest times, even in the strongest storms, even when the sun is blotted out and the world is falling apart, the darkness cannot extinguish your light. You, your will, your determination. No matter what is happening, no matter how hard the fight is, as long as you keep fighting, you win. Only surrender is defeat. Only quitting is the end.
And if you soft, this ain't the, you want to get out now. This is where you like, I quit.
When it just doesn't make any logical sense to go on, that's when you use your emotion, your anger, your frustration to push you to say, I don't stop.
But if you're willing to say, I'm not going to quit, I guarantee you whatever success you want to have, you're going to have it.
When your feelings are screaming that you have had enough, override that emotion with concrete logic and willpower that says, I don't stop.
You must be very intentional and deliberate. You must be very intentional and deliberate.
Life is one big tug of war, and you don't win that tug of war by pushing the fucking rope. You have to pull that motherfucker. And a lot of times you have to pull yourself through life, pull yourself out of bed, pull yourself out of a funk, pull yourself out of whatever the life is throwing at you to gain that confidence.